Hello, lovely souls. Welcome back. It's Sonia here with Fresh Approach Fitness, a wellness company. How are you today? We are on episode number 82, and this one is going to be my personal favorite. I can tell you that right now. It's all about designing your life your way. And the reason why this came up is based, as usual, on some of my personal experiences. And stay with me for a second as I go over a little bit of a story. When you're feeling almost like you're suffocating, almost like you just can't, you don't even know which direction to turn because you don't know if you can take it anymore. And yeah, I'm chiming in publicly for everybody to hear that feeling, that sense of overwhelm and sharing my story with you. But this is exactly what we need more of, right? We don't need people saying, hey, hi, how are you? Oh, I'm great, when you're just lying. Just lying like a rug. Life happens, my friends. And, today we're going to talk about what happens when you're feeling overwhelmed and how to flip the script, but more importantly, what to do about that big picture. And that's about designing your life your way. Most recently, we had two amazing guest speakers, Dylan Miller and Alyssa Figgins. They both did spectacular. And if you haven't caught those episodes, go ahead and look for them. They're like the last 3 or 4 episodes. Number 80, because this is 80, number 81 and number 79 are the two guest speakers, and they were phenomenal. And Dylan talked a lot about abundance. Alyssa and I talked about priorities. And today, I want to speak and share my thoughts on overwhelm, because it's up to us to get out of the spirit of overwhelm, us as individuals. And when we can do that, when we can find our footing again and face the world bravely with new impact, everything is going to change. But you need that time to heal. You really do. I really hate feeling overwhelmed. I was probably overwhelmed with stress most recently, and stress happens. It happens to all of us. And sometimes we unintentionally or subconsciously bring it on by the stories that we're repeating day in and day out. We're saying this for good intentions. We're trying to get people to maybe give us advice, but we're repeating those same stories. And when we repeat something, we are then reinforcing its truth and validity. And in this case, in the case of overwhelmed, it's not serving us. It's not. So I always like to share stories from clients that are willing to share their stories. But keep in mind throughout this episode that we are going to work on, the premise here is to design your life your way. Before we get started and before we go too far, I do have something exciting coming up in just a couple of weeks in the beginning of December. I am offering a Design Your Life Your Way one-day getaway for anybody in Southwestern Ontario that is looking forward to a day away. It is going to be so much fun. You're going to be attending some sessions and some workshops. You're going to get some snacks and a meal and a nice goodie bag, and it's a day out. Waterfront. Gorgeous. Like-minded people. I'm definitely going to be putting some information on my link tree, which will be added to here if you're interested. And if you're curious about what it's about or how to get involved in the back end or just to show up for the day, let me know. And stay tuned for the Design Your Life Your Way. I'm actually working on a creative collections book, which is part journal, bullet journal, diary, agenda, day planner, all in one, perfectly fitted for the entrepreneur. And I am working on trying to get that to you guys all set up as soon as possible. I've been using, hopefully by the new year, you've heard me talk about this. I was calling it something different, but now this new title works perfectly because this is what life's all about. If you're not happy with the life that you're living right now, it's time to design your life your way. And the way I want you to think about this is, yes, I'm a weight loss coach. I'm a healthy eating and weight loss coach. But here's the thing. When it comes to weight loss, I want you to think bigger. I help you release the weight of stress, debt, and unwanted pounds. It's not just weights that we carry that makes us feel overwhelmed. It's the physical weight, the burden that we carry on our shoulders, that we carry in our hearts, that we carry in our brains, the stories that we tell ourselves, debt, chaos, stress. Let's let it go. Let's let all of that go and create the best life that you want to be living. It's time. It's time to design your life your way because you are worth it. You are so worth it, my friends. I am working on this every single day, and I love how it feels. Not every day is easy. That's okay. That is totally okay. Not every day is going to go the way we want. Yep, we know that. But when we're making strides, it is going to feel really good. So you ready to get started? First things first, what does designing your life your way look like? I can tell you, yes, I just got through telling you I was feeling so overwhelmed that I believed I had gotten physically sick for 3 days. I was on the couch, I looked drained, I was exhausted, I was carrying a lot of other people's responsibilities, and I was harboring other people's misguidance as personal misdirection. And it just needed to forgive and let go. Nobody's perfect. We're all human, and we need to practice that patience. But since then, since I've been able to jump back into the world with both feet, I literally have done so. I started becoming a better version of myself again, which means I start my day off with movement. No, that's not true. Scratch! I start my day every day with a kiss to Tony and then meditation. I meditate for 10 minutes every day. Feels so good to meditate for 10 minutes. Then I move on to the bike. This is a relatively new trend since the weather's changed, but I'm on the exercise bike in the morning, 20 minutes, and when I'm on the bike, then I'm doing movement, but at the same time, I am listening to affirmations that I am repeating out loud. So I've started the first half an hour of my day. Okay, 31 minutes of my day with a quick kiss and a goodbye, and mindset, movement, gratitude, affirmations. All of that within half an hour of my day. It has helped me design my life. It has helped me step out of overwhelm because I'm taking care of myself first thing in the morning. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, you really, 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 more than anything, you want to move forward. But then you're easily discouraged because you feel like everything is much. And then you just want to give up. But the most powerful words in the world are those that follow I am, which is why the affirmations are helpful. I am a weight loss coach. I am abundant, financially abundant, healthy, abundantly healthy. So if you say I am easily discouraged, that is an instruction to yourself. So remember what I said a few minutes ago. When you're repeating those stories to people looking for advice, you're actually reiterating that you are a victim. And when you're in the victim mode, it is easy to feel overwhelmed. So if you were to go about saying I am easily discouraged. So let's just rewind this a little bit. I feel overwhelmed. I really want to move forward, but then I am easily discouraged. Sometimes I just want to give up. Okay? This is a phrase that came in from a client of mine looking for advice. The most powerful words that follow I am are your intentions. They are your prescription. Okay? You are setting the intention of your day. So if you were to say, I am easily discouraged, that is an instruction to yourself that you are clinging to and arguing for the fact that that is the truth and that you don't want it. Okay? When you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. When you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. So if you don't want to be easily discouraged, do not say you're easily discouraged. So here's the other piece of it. When you say that you're easily discouraged, you are taking a past pattern and projecting it into your present and your future. You are saying that the way things have been is the way things will continue to be. So in order to design the life that you want, in order to get out of overwhelm, you need to leave the past in the past. You need to flip the script and make a decision that you decide that this is not the way it's going to be. So overwhelmed is a direct result of focusing on more than one thing in your life. Overwhelm is a direct result of focusing on more than the movement in the moment that you are in. You're not just in the moment when you are overwhelmed. You're either replaying past patterns or you're manufacturing worry about the future, or both. Something's happened, let it go. And I know this is hard. I wouldn't have felt so stressed if I knew this was easy. The thing is becoming aware. When you can become aware of the pattern, when you can become aware of the feeling and emotion and take the time to recharge and rest and recover and think things through, you can flip that script. So there are so many other perspectives available to you that will reduce or eliminate your level of overwhelm. If you're feeling overwhelmed, walk yourself through these 3 steps. Am I focusing on the problem or am I participating in the solution? What am I able to do today or right now in this moment to create progress or improvement? What is happening right now that I can focus on? Those are 3 really, really, really good questions when it comes to overwhelm. Because whatever happened has happened. If you've been misguided or misdirected and now you don't trust yourself for making decisions and trusting in people, acknowledge it. Because sometimes that's a big factor in overwhelm. Overwhelm isn't necessarily, so overwhelm can be a couple of things. It can be taking on more than one thing at a time, or your schedule is no longer balanced and you're not in alignment with where you want to be. It can also be trusting in yourself, in the decisions that you've made, and now questioning that because they didn't turn out the way you expected. And absolutely, they could be and they will be turning out 100% better. But in the meantime, once you acknowledge that this is where you're at and it's not working for you, what are the steps you're going to take to get out of it? Because life happens. It all happens. So choose to be where your feet are. This is a great image. I actually took a picture of this. I created a photo of be where your feet are, and I used it as my screenshot for the longest time on my phone. Be where your feet are. Don't think of today. Don't think of tomorrow. Don't think about what's next. Think about right now. What can you do in the moment? In my case, I needed to rest for the moment, and I needed to scale back on some of my other activities. And even as I was circling back in my mind and thinking of, yeah, I rested, but truly, what else did I do? And I still did a lot when I was resting and under the weather. Yeah, I may not have cleaned the house the way I wanted and physically didn't exert myself because I just didn't have the energy, but I had still done quite a bit. Mentally, I had good conversations with people. I was shifting my paradigm, although I was overwhelmed. Took a different approach. Sometimes that's all it takes. So choose to be where your feet are. Choose not to be in any other moment but the moment that you're in right now. Be only in the moment. So you need to work on winning the moment that you're in. And again, big picture here, you're thinking about designing your life your way. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does she wear? What does she do? How does she act? What is her relationships like? Design your life your way. Take a few minutes, take an hour, journal, daydream, put it all together and let more pieces come into that image. And then start with where you're at right now. What can you focus on? What can you do differently? If you've always been in a position where you feel like things aren't working out, how can you prevent yourself from getting back into that position? What is the bigger picture here? What can you do to change your vibration on the emotional wheel? And understand that you won't be ready until you're ready. You might need to rest for a couple of days. You might need to get out in nature for a couple of days. You might need to just chill for a couple of days. You might need to change the scenery in your mind. You might need to binge watch TV. You might need to go for a 20K hike. The prescription's going to be different for everybody because it's all based on who you are and what you like to do. But you need to allow those feelings to come in. Don't deny them. Don't question them because it's going to take a little bit longer to recover from them. Acknowledge the feelings like it's a cloud passing you by. It's going to pass when it's ready. But the feeling of overwhelm can expand to so much more, like physical stress. Remember what I said at the very beginning, I'm a weight loss coach. The weight of stress, the weight of debt, plus the pounds. Let's get rid of all of these. So we're living that free, comfortable, happy life. Begins with choosing to be where your feet are, but knowing which direction you want to go in, which is designing your life your way. Remind yourself that overwhelm is a result of focusing on more than the moment that you're in. You're thinking of so much more than just what's here right now. Use that feeling as an opportunity to practice coming back to the moment that you're in and making one great choice. One great choice could be, if you're watching TV, actually falling asleep, letting yourself nap and rest. Rest is one of the best ways of recovery and getting past things. Instead of forcing it, saying, I don't even watch TV during the day and now I'm napping. Oh, well, your brain needs to rest. Your brain needs to stop thinking. Have you ever been so exhausted that you actually can't read? Like, you could maybe stare at a TV and listen and watch, but you physically cannot focus on words and read. That is your mind telling you that it needs a break. Use this feeling as an opportunity to practice coming back. So whatever those feelings are, and when you're ready, jump in to what makes you feel good. Remember how I said my morning routine, within half an hour, I'm able to do my affirmations, my gratitudes, my movement, and my meditation. Yeah, I've combined them. That's okay. Create it your way. What does it look like? You could be listening to your personal development book while you're going for a walk. I do that all the time. But I'm only in the moment that I'm in, right? I'm not thinking of anything else in that moment. We need to stop stretching ourselves to the max. We're not good for anybody, and we're especially not good for ourselves. This weekend, all I wanted to do was get better. I wanted to bounce off the couch and be my normal, lovely self. I don't even watch TV during the day. Normally, the TV comes on at 9:30 at night for date night. That's it. Neither one of us really watch TV during the day. Our kids really don't watch TV during the day. It's just a habit. I'm not saying we can't. There's nothing wrong with it. But when we start falling into patterns that we don't normally do, and we start to question ourselves for doing it, oh, well, I don't watch TV during the day, so now what's wrong? Am I depressed? It becomes a narrative that isn't true. You are not winning the moment you are in. You are questioning why you're doing what you're doing. And you don't want to do that, because now you're making the problem even bigger. So refuse to sell yourself the story of the problem. Don't be the problem. Be the solution. Let the problem exist like a cloud in the sky. The problem's going to go away. Physically associate the problem with the cloud that will move past at the right time. But you need to learn this lesson, whatever this lesson is. I needed to learn a lot this weekend. I was still carrying too much, even though I've made some shifts. I was still holding on, or I hadn't released what needed to be released. And like I said, I still did a lot. The weekend before was fabulous, but I let a few things bother me this week. And why? It only affects me. And that's what happens when you get into overwhelm and things bother you. It only affects you. And then it'll snowball and affect the people around you, especially if you don't take the time to take care of yourself. Yeah, and you're probably thinking, yeah, but, I can't take time off work, and I work off the weekends, and I need the money. Well, you're living in a space of scarcity, my friends, and that's a different conversation. Nothing will change while you continuously live in that space. And it's easy to slip in that space. I've been there. Sometimes I'm there. We're all there. We're all human. But what happens if you were to get really sick? Think about this for a minute. What do you think your employer is going to do if you get really sick and you can't come back to work? Yep, they're going to hire somebody else. No problem. There was a post I saw on LinkedIn the other day, and a coworker at somebody's employment had died that exact same day they put a job posting up. I'm not saying they don't care. I'm saying they are worried about their bottom line and getting the job done. That's what's going to happen every single time. But yet, We trade our time. We trade our energy in exchange for a paycheck. We are an active income where we are trading time and energy for a paycheck. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. It's what we need to do. It's the way we've been taught. It's survival. Appreciate all of that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. However, if you do not take the time to take care of yourself, what good is that all for? We need to step out of overwhelm. You need to step out of stress, and you need to do whatever you need to do to get better and to live your best life. So it is worth it. So refuse to sell yourself the story of the problem. You're not part of the story. You're not part of the problem. You're not part of the story. It is what it is. Oh, I hate that saying. I can't believe I just said it. I hate that saying, and I've been in sales 25 years, and I hate that saying, and it sounds like defeat to me. It is what it is. Well, it's like surrender. No. But in this case, it is what it is. The problem exists whether or not you're in it, around it, near it. The problem exists. Don't make yourself the story, the headline. Refuse to limit yourself to the patterns of the past. What if something could be different? Of course it can be different. Your past is your past. We've evolved so much since those past stories, right? We want to bring ourselves into the present. We want to see what opportunities can be in the future. And refuse to distract yourself with what lies ahead. Just know that there's possibilities and opportunities. But more importantly, be where your feet are and win the moment you're in. And friends, if you really don't know where to start, if you're overwhelmed with, wow, like I don't know where to even start. I'm feeling overwhelmed. Yeah, I'm doing much. We've got to talk. It's as simple as that, because at the end of the day, if you're not designing your life your way, what are you doing? Are you just on a roller coaster ride, going over and over and over again, those ups and downs, those highs, those lows? Is that what you're doing? Or are you actually practicing and living your best life? Or are you ready to even discover what your life could be like? And it's not just physical. Yes, stress and overwhelm affects us physically. Lack of money, debt, too much weight on your body affects us physically as well. Don't think of it as just a one fix, because what we do in one part of our body, we do in all parts of our body. What we do in one area of our life, we do in all areas of our life. And some of these patterns that we are living in, that our own personal roller coaster, personally, I want my roller coaster to be nice and easy. Small little waves, that's it. I don't want anything going up and down and turning and backwards. It's going to make my vertigo kick in, and that's exactly what happened this weekend. What does your roller coaster look like? Yeah, I don't want any spinning anymore. No way. And, I'm thinking differently, and it happens. It doesn't matter. Best of intentions. You've got me sitting here sharing how life happens to us, but you can hear it in my voice again. I am back. I am back better than before, and this is what happens. Sometimes it feels like a breakdown, but it's actually a breakthrough. How can I help you break through past patterns to become the best version of you? I'm here to support you on that journey. Today's episode was short and sweet, about 24 minutes. We're going to get some more guest speakers in. And honestly, if you live in Southwestern Ontario, or if you're interested in this venue, reach out to me, because surrounding yourselves with like-minded women who are interested in meeting other like-minded women and connecting over the same themes, you're going to up-level and change your life. This conversation, I could talk about for hours how it goes in so many different directions, but let's start with overwhelm. Let's break it down. One little topic, overwhelm. Design your life your way. Think about, are you part of the problem? Imagine this cloud of overwhelm. Maybe it's a little bit stuck on top of you for 3 days. That's okay. 3 days is much better than 3 years. When you're aware of the feeling, you can make those shifts. Okay, my friends, I'm going to be putting the link tree on here. The Design Your Life Your Way workshop, day away and weekend away, will be posted. It just needs to be finished, updated, so that should be up there shortly. But if you have any questions at all, you just reach out. I would love to help you design your life your way. And remember, as a weight loss life coach, I am here to help you every step of the way. Release the unwanted weight of stress, pounds, and debt. Because what happens in one area of your life happens in many areas of your life. Just think about that. Make it a fantastic day, my friends.